that. It just landed for me. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And now I can play and then also help people, in their life really wake up and remember who they truly are and what is their gifts in that, and really own their life and take responsibility. That's not a bad thing, It's, how we respond to things, and it's a good thing, and not give that power away.
Mm-hmm.
Moira, I was wondering if you could kind of give listeners an idea of some beginning steps to recognize when they're headed down a path that is right for them, or when they're starting to wake up to the path or recognizing things in their life that do excite them and do align with who they are and their gifts. How do people learn to recognize that? There's so many people out there that I think stay in the status quo or what they need to do or what they think they're supposed to do. And then they start searching. And then in their search, there's so many options and things that sound good. Is there ways to identify when you start to recognize what is right, what your gifts and talents are? Is there a way to put that into words?
That's a great big question.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were saying it, it's interesting because I can feel tears in my eyes, and it, as you said that, it's speaking to me because, I want those people, not, let it be they work with me or someone else, but they want them to get the information like you're saying. So there's many ways to do it. So it is a big question. They can start, first of all, it's about turning off the technology and all the stuff around us. The TV shows where they're going today, or the radio, or the newspaper. Get out in nature, connect, go and take for a walk. Give yourself time. Go have a bathtub with Epsom salt and that. But take the time for you. There's no excuse that we can't go take time for us. And there's exercises to connect with your heart and to just stop. And one of them through this, which I find so interesting, the Heart Math Institute, and Greg Braden's also speaking about it. So I'm giving all those names so people can get it and go look for them. But in the Heart Math, they have like a simple thing to have like a coherence to your heart, and just be quiet and put your hand on your heart and breathe in, what you love and start remembering what that is, and then breathing out for your breath through your heart, because your heart and your brain are connected. It's and it's processing all the time where you are with your breathing. And so stop and just start breathing. You don't have to go meditate for hours or anything, but just stop and breathe and start experiencing feelings that you remember that you had so much joy around in your life. We all have them. Or if you can't find that, go imagine what's something you would like, and go experience that. I always go to a beach because I'm a Caribbean girl. So
I think it's really interesting that
you can also go and start writing a whole, an exercise where you start writing down your talents, what you love, what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and make a list. And then go through the list, and as you read each one, really connect into your body and find out, do you feel good about that when you read that or not? And your body will tell you because it's listening all the time.
Right.
And start crossing off anything that's not. And do not do anything that doesn't align with feeling good. One of the things I love about the book, I think I mentioned it before, The Alchemist, it's one of my favorites, Paulo Coelho, is he has a quote, "Love is what makes all things great. So only do what you love." And every day realize, are you moving towards things that you love and the expansiveness of that or not? So if you're in a job that sucks, start exploring what would you like? What if? Go into those things and not, I can't do that because. Start moving into I can. So your whole dialogue allows you to open up your mind to imagine what you can have. So it's the way you talk to yourself, your self-talk, to really appreciate yourself. We've all had the syndrome of not enough money, not enough time. It's a story. It's time to know and take full responsibility. If you don't like something, start, even if it's a little thing to do, that you start honoring yourself. And it starts with doing the work, the inner work of self-love before anything else.
Do you think that it's also really important to learn and maybe baby step there to saying no to people, no to obligations.
How do you spell that?
Yeah. And it's very difficult for me. I am 48 years old, and I have only in the past few years learned to start saying no. I don't have to do everything. I don't have to help everyone. I don't have to always do everything. And
so how awesome is that? Like,
right.
High five you. Like, it doesn't matter when you learn it, you've learned it. And
right.
no is an honoring of you, and creating healthy boundaries in your life is so important because, again, if we don't create our life and own our time in that, someone else will fill in the gaps and say, hey, you do this and this and this. And as a healer for 30 years, before, I never knew how to say no. And I also was a control freak. I wanted everything a certain way in my family. I wanted everything. And now it's like when you let that go, wow, does it take a lot off of you?
Yeah.
And, and people around you right now with this awakening, a lot of people who are growing they're having different things happening. They might be having headaches right now because there's so much crap out there and we're feeling it energetically. And again, honor yourself. Go take time. Go take a walk. Go change your state. People are getting restless. Again, we have to do the work. Everyone does. And, there's that dark night of the soul. And, I'm bringing back animal totem into my work because that's, again, shamanism that I taught years ago. And, just before my birthday a couple of weeks ago, we haven't had it a year and a half, any owls in our neighborhood. And my totem is the red hawk, which is the daytime, and the nighttime is the great horned owl. And the owl showed up 4 days before my birthday, 3 nights in a row.
Wow.
And I love the sound of it because it speaks to my soul. And I said to my girlfriend, wow, he showed up and now he's gone, but he was around 4 days. And she goes, well, didn't you see the significance of that around your birthday? And see, I didn't even get it.
Oh,
I went, you're right.
darn.
And I even saw the two of them out the back, like just their feathers because it was late at night. But I was like, so I honor and do the work that way too. But yeah, saying no, healthy boundaries are so important because it's respecting yourself. And that's a big step of self-love.
Agreed. In my coaching, I often make people do lists like that of things that they like to do when they were little that they don't do anymore. And it always surprises me how many people come back to coloring or watercolors or some kind of painting or something. And they think it's frivolous that, as an adult, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And it's so wrong. They're so wrong, aren't they, Moira?
Well, what's very cool, as you know, there's a whole trend now of people doing these adult color books with mantras and all, right?
Yes.
And I know when I dated Cliff, 27 years ago when we started dating, that when we went out to restaurants, we always asked for the crayons.
Color the placemats.
Yeah, in the restaurant before you order your meal, but that's why those books are come out again today, and they ground you. You see, they get you out of the chatter of the ego. They allow you just to be creative, which that's who we are, and you don't have to be in the lines. If you go at the lines, who cares? Right. It's just the movement, and it's allowing your soul to be creative and you to quiet the mind. We have so much chatter in our lives, and that's the part again with the healthy boundaries, Pam. Like to really, you have to put time for you. People take what they spend a whole year maybe scheduling for their one trip per year, but they don't take any time to work on their life and what do they really want. Because I talked to a woman the other day when I was at the eye doctor for my annual checkup, and I didn't see her there before, and I said, have you been here before? And she goes, no, I just came back from BC. And she had a wake-up call. Her best friend in BC, she was in her probably her early 50s. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then within 3 months she was diagnosed with brain cancer. Or a brain tumor. And she died within a year. And she started to think her daughter was back here in London, Ontario, and getting married, and she thought, I don't want to miss out on that. I'm moving home, even if she loved BC. And she knew it was a wake-up call for her. But again, you don't have to wait for that in your life. It's important to say today, what do you want? Create your life on your terms and take back your power. Each one of us have a voice, and each one of us were born with a life purpose. And that's part of my passion, for people to have hope, to rediscover, if they've never discovered it yet, their life passion and purpose. and realize that their work to be done in the world, it was for them when they were born, for them uniquely. Like, you're a coach, I'm a coach. We all have our unique experiences. It's coming together. It's not, again, about competition. It's about collaboration and contribution.
Isn't it interesting, too, when you're doing something that you love, and even if it's your job, that you get reaffirmed back on how well it's going or how much you love it, how much your passion shows through, because it doesn't seem as hard. It doesn't seem like you have to put so much effort into it. I'm a photographer, and when I do the photo shoots that I absolutely love, that I really feel like I'm giving a contribution to somebody, they don't tire me out. They're wonderful. They're beautiful, and I enjoy them, and I look forward to the next one. And then when I go off the path and do things that I think maybe, I can't say no, that's a family member, or I need to do this, I enjoy them. I still enjoy that, but it's more exhausting. It takes a lot more energy from me.
I get it. And, our family, we have, I don't know, it's also about creating a new story around our family too. Like, my mom's funny. She's going to be 90, and Deborah, I realize you said this today or this week is hug day or that, and mentorship day. And I said back, my mom, we love to hug. She likes her back scratched when we hug her. And, I love to cook. It's a creative outsource for me that I absolutely enjoy. And I got a new cookbook the other day, and she goes, another cookbook?
You can never have too many cookbooks.
No, you can never not. But, at first I went into reacting, the reaction mode. I said, well, what do you mean another cookbook? And then I started explaining myself. I love to cook. You get a nice meal from me. I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
See, that's the loop, that when instead of just observing what she said and realize that it's just her saying something. It's, not putting meaning to it. Just say, yeah, Mom, I got another cookbook. I can't wait to cook you a lovely meal.
Right.
Like, just do not get engaged in crap or those loops. So it's a lot of times it's about stepping back and observing and not jumping in, because we have stories and patterns and beliefs all, writing all the time, these patterns at a neural level. And we can go in and we can stop them. And energetically we can, break through and create new patterns that serve us. And that's my whole thing around creating your life by design and creating a new story to transform your life. And that's the thing about imagination that we've said before. You guys know that one of my favorite quotes is Albert Einstein: imagination is the key imagination is the preview of life's coming into action. And every time I say that, I love it. So, just imagine and start telling that story and have fun with it, and only share those stories and your personal, what really matters to you, with people that love you and support you.
Oh, right.
And letting go of relationships comes into play with a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. Letting go of some of the things and some of the people that are always negative in your life, I think, is a really important thing to happen as well.
It is, and you can do energetic things like, we're all connected at the cord around our belly button, and you can do things like almost a karate chop, and think of people or that if they're in your family and you're at a party or something, the family get together, you can just send them, connect them, karate chop them around your belly button right down at the same time. And and move them out of your space, and don't keep going into stories that don't serve us. Like, we start getting into something, and then we're not even always listening because we're not conscious. We're talking on, and we all know that gossip is the lowest energy form. Mm-hmm. And when you're gossiping about somebody else, your body doesn't know that you're talking about somebody else. Your soul and your body thinks you're talking about you. And if people knew that, they wouldn't be doing that. They would move out of that.
That's
for themselves.
Really good. I love that. Say that again.
What did I say?
Gossip about
how your body doesn't recognize
thinks.
that it's about somebody else.
Yeah. And my other big theme for me that I'm stepping and putting a stake in the ground for are not only spiritual awakening and to own your life and take back your power, so you're empowered in, however that looks for you, and really know we're so much bigger than what we think, because we tell these little stories and because we think it keeps us safe. But when you're in a safe zone like that, you're not growing. It's all about expansion. When I stepped into this new area of stepping back into, this whole arena of intuitive, because I am an intuitive, and I see spirit and can speak to spirit now, but intuitive spiritual coaching, it was, and launched a new Facebook group.